So we just did a segment about Cyril Ramaphosa's visit to the White House, but there was a certain side story here. Alex Jones picked up on this. Watch Elon Musk stare down the genocidal leader of South Africa today at the White House. Now, it shouldn't be surprising to you that whoever thought this was worth clipping has the poor taste to put really stupid, off-putting music underneath the clip, which is probably copyright protected. So we're going to play this with no sound because it's visual in nature. But there's Elon standing tall, tower over him, giving the death stare to the evil genocidal leader, Cyril Ramaphosa.
Hang on, I've got music for you.
There you go. Thank you. Glad we can make that work.
See, fits perfectly.
Fits perfectly. Thank you for that. Good idea. So there he is, staring down Cyril Ramaphosa. Now, you want to see brainwashing. You want to see a psyop. We'll get to that in just a minute. But I had to post this here because what do I say? I say Alex Jones is the Cenk Uygur of conspiracy theorists, right? He's the conspiracy theorist with the big channel and the big microphone and the bombastic personality. And
He's basically the
charisma.
Charles Manson of conspiracy theorists.
I'm sticking with Cenk Uygur. I think that's a perfect comparison because that's essentially what he is. A lot of genuine, like real red pill conspiracy people kind of see him that way. Yeah, he's the milquetoast guy. He's good. He puts on a good show, whatever. Here's David Icke. Here's a real conspiracy theorist, David Icke. Not an endorsement of everything he says, but hey, this is more a red pill take. Trump uses the term genocide over white farmers in South Africa and says, I've never seen anything like it. Try Gaza, you lying fraud for which you supply arms to Israel, and refuse to say genocide, even though that is blatantly happening. Damn.
All right.
Damn.
All right.
That's a committed conspiracy theorist.
You should have called him a
audience
reptile.
captured. Yeah, right. Exactly. There you go. Nice job, David Icke. But now here we go. Okay. Elon Musk was fuming in the Oval Office as MAGA polls today locked eyes on South Africa's president during his meeting with Trump. You can feel the tension. This isn't diplomacy. It's a warning. And I love this. This is one of my favorite tweets ever. Jack Posobiec. They took his home.
Poor Elon.
They took
Poor
his
Elon.
home.
Whatever will the
Oh,
scion
God.
of an emerald mine do?
You can't make that shit up. They took his home. Now, here's a guy who gets more credit than he should, in my opinion, Mike Benz. Elon's journey is the stuff of legends. On top of the business story, the innovation story, the political revival story, he gets to face down the tormentors of his childhood home from the other side of the table, face to face at the Oval Office of the United States White House. Get a room. What a loser.
Yeah.
What a fucking asshole. And I love this, how he was so proud of himself that he ratioed the Washington Post, ratioed the shit post in under 25 minutes. So Washington Post, whose core readership is totally on X all day. Yeah. Very hard to ratio them.
Yeah.
They put out an article saying in an extraordinary exchange, President Donald Trump amplified false claims that white Afrikaners have been victims of a genocide in a meeting with South Africa President Cyril Ramaphosa in the Oval Office. And Mike Benz replied, you guys are all giant pieces of shit, and I think somewhere deep down you know it. And he was so proud of himself that he got
very
more
clever.
retweets. Yeah.
It's very clever.
Yeah.
It's like a sonnet.
Yeah, that was beautiful. But he got more likes than them.
like an unhinged racist sonnet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He got more likes than them and more retweets than them, and he was very proud of himself. So he screenshotted that and bragged that he ratioed the shit post in under 25 minutes. And I thought that was news. So I said, breaking, lots of aggrieved white people on X. Who knew that?
Who knew
that? But I mean, that's where you talk about people just being psyoped and manipulated into absorbing and in some cases reposting or disseminating or regurgitating the most obvious warped bullshit you could ever hear. They stole his home? Really? Cyril, so the black president of South Africa stole Elon Musk's home. Think of how insane a statement that is. But these are the leading influencers of this movement. And then they want to say, no, we're not racist. We're just misunderstood. I'm sorry. That ship has sailed. That ship has sailed. You have done nothing to disprove the fact that you are driven by irrational white grievance since January 20th of this year. You've done nothing to dissuade people that you are motivated first and foremost by, yes, a white supremacist grievance. And that's exactly what this is. This is cartoonishly absurd. It is
Of course it is.
cartoonishly absurd. I mean, you couldn't make it up. I would not have thought of this if I were writing an absurdist farce about about a movement going mask off racist once they take power. I could not have thought of this white South Africa shit. It's beyond my imagination. And yet here they are.
Yeah, it never even occurred to me for movie night. We try to do kind of politically dissident films. I never thought I would be considering a Lethal Weapon movie
Yeah.
for movie night, but it's all of a sudden become relevant to look at how insane this is. Like there was such a just basic consensus in the country, and that's why you're right. I mean, it's not even something that you could have dreamed up, that people would be running around defending white South Africans. And you know where you really see the inherent racism of the perspective? You'll very often get racist white people will talk about crime in Haiti without ever examining the fact that the Western powers never forgave them for having the world's only successful slave revolt and immediately put sanctions on Haiti after its independence
Right.
to destroy its economy. It had been a very wealthy colony and would have continued to be so if the West had not retaliated against them. The banks were forcing them to pay reparations for seized land into the 40s, and American banks took over the maintenance of those debts with interest across the centuries. Like it's insane what they did to Haiti. And then they'll say, see what
Right.
happens when those people are in charge. It's the same thing with South Africa, because when you push them, most of them don't like to just as their opening bid admit that they're racist motherfuckers. So you got to push them a little bit and say, well, because they'll talk about the skills they're bringing. And you say, well, talking about agricultural skills, we've been relying on people from South and Central America to do our farm work for decades. Americans don't even know how to do that work on a large scale anymore. Like they really need them to run ranches, to run farms. Then they'll go to, yeah, well, you know what? They have higher IQs.
Oh, yeah. They go right.
And
oh, yeah.
also they don't bring crime. And they,
Yeah.
okay. All right. So, a subtle element of the racism there, aside from the obvious, is okay. Yeah, man. I'm sure things were safer for the white elite South Africans that all of the state's resources were poured into protecting during apartheid. You see that as you didn't have as much crime because you don't consider the black population people, and you don't consider the crimes that the state was committing against the black population under apartheid as violence, because they're not worthy victims to you. The only worthy victims are white people.
Hey, thanks for watching our video. We're currently raising money to produce our documentary film on the Uhuru movement. Go to givesendgo.com/do dissidents to chip in.
Every dollar you give goes towards the project. We do not take any kind of salary on these. We mostly live on Gatorade when we're on the road, so even solid food is iffy, just enough to get by. But we do not take any pay for this. Every dollar actually goes into what we need to shoot the project. The Uhuru movement is a subject that really deserves more exposure. Everybody heard about it through the court case, and that was an important thing to elevate. But they've done incredible community work demonstrating a different way that is socialist and not dependent on the government at the same time, which a lot of people don't even realize that still exists in the tradition of the Black Panther food and education programs. And to show there is such a strong community like that with such strong leadership is really important, particularly at this historical moment.
Yeah, so we're really excited about doing the project, but we need your help. So go to givesendgo.com/do dissidents to chip in. Thanks very much for your support.